Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. And we're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. And I thought today for Saturday morning, let's take a look at the lessons assigned for morning prayer from the first book of Samuel. Now, of course, the book is called 1 and 2 Samuel, but in fact, by the time of where we're getting up to now, Samuel is already dead. And so let's talk about what is going on with Saul and David. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel lamented him and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. And the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and pitched in Shunem, and Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched at Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Then said Saul unto his servants, Seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servants said unto him, Behold, there's a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself, and put on other raiment, and he went, and 2 men with him. And they came to the woman by night, and he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. And the woman said unto him, Behold, thou knowest what Saul hath done, how he hath cut off all those who have familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. Therefore, why then layest thou a snare for my life, to cause me to die? And Saul sware to her by the Lord, saying, As the Lord liveth, there shall be no punishment happen to thee for this thing. Then said the woman, Whom shall I bring up unto thee? And he said, Bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice, and the woman spake to Saul, saying, Why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. And the king said unto her, Be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods descending out of the earth. And he said unto her, What form is he of? And she said, An old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel. And he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself. And Samuel said to Saul, Why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do. Then said Samuel, Wherefore then dost thou ask of me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee, and is become thine enemy? And the Lord hath done to him, as he spake by me. For the Lord hath rent the kingdom out of thine hand, and given it to thy neighbor, even to David, because thou obeyest not the voice of the Lord, nor executest his fierce wrath upon Amalek. Therefore hath the Lord done this thing unto thee this day. Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines, and tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me. The Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hands of the Philistines. Okay, so familiar spirit. In other words, this is a soothsayer or a fortune teller, a psychic, we might use it as. And when you're dealing with people like this, you're talking about people, in the best case scenario, they are deceivers and scammers, and they're just playing 20 questions and telling you what you want to hear, discerning by the questions that they're asking you about what you want to hear. The worst case scenario is they do have some power, and this power, of course, is not of God. God does not want this to happen. As we know, Samuel forbade it from the words of God, and so Saul, the king, had forbade this from the land. And yet, here's known as the witch of Endor, because he talked about those who have familiar spirit and wizard. So witch and wizard is the alternating terms of that. Saul is not hearing from God, and so he gets impatient, decides that God's silence is wrong on God's part, and he goes to the witch. We cannot decide to figure out God's will on any other terms but God's. There is no going to psychics, no mediums, no Ouija boards. It's verboten. It's playing with fire. Don't do it. The good news is that God will answer. His answer might be silence, and then we continue to wait and be faithful. unlike Saul, who again and again was supposed to wait till Samuel got there earlier in the book for a sacrifice. He got impatient, did the sacrifice without him, and that was the beginning of the end for him. And now, once again, we're going to hear that the consequence of his disobedience is that he and his sons will die in battle. And Israel will be turned over to the Philistines. So there it is. The first king of Israel is about to meet his end. So here we are. It's Saturday, and of course, no public worship today at St. John's, but the good news, of course, is that we gather together tomorrow for the 7:30 morning prayer, 8 o'clock Holy Communion, 10 o'clock Holy Communion, and 5:30 evening prayer with communion. I do hope that you will choose a service, join us for worship, because the Lord wills it. Unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you have no life in you. And God willing, I'll see you in church. May your Saturday be full of blessings.